Hello, I'm Chris Newton. Chances are you've already worked through the video segments on how to create a great first impression on the telephone and how to avoid killing off sales over the phone by not being a problem solver. Let's now explore the next phase, turning those callers into clients. There are 4 very specific steps you need to go through if you're to maximize your success on the phone, or indeed in any professional sales situation. Number 1 is leading your caller to the desired outcome. People do want to be led. They want to be guided to make a decision. Now, that doesn't mean people are gullible. What it means is that they want to be guided into making the right decision by someone they can trust. Having said that, for some business people, especially from the more conservative professions, actively leading the prospect to take the next step might feel a little pushy or hard sell. But just the opposite is true. Think about it this way. If you have the best solution for the prospect, it's your duty of care to lead them ethically to that best outcome. If you don't, you're effectively leaving them floundering, and who knows who might come along to take their money and offer a poor solution. Remember too, the client doesn't know what you know. They may not even know that they don't know. That's why it's so critical for you to take the lead and help them buy. It's that simple. Leading your caller to the desired outcome begins with a simple phrase, based on what you've told me.
Colin, based on what you've told me, you want a tyre that'll perform well in both city and through winding road conditions. You stress that good handling and safety are important to you, but you don't want to sacrifice durability. Colin, there are 2 tyres that perfectly suit your needs. One in the $195 range and a premium tyre in the $240 plus range. The best way for you to make an informed decision is to drop on in. I can explain the benefits of both and for you to compare them. Yep, I've got time available after 3 this afternoon. Does that time suit you? Or I have time tomorrow morning. Now, which is better for you?
Well, there it is. Seamless, professional, and totally ethical. Our salesperson takes control of the transaction and leads the caller to an outcome, the best outcome. Note too that our sales professional not only showed he was truly listening, he intelligently used his knowledge to recommend 2 solutions. Also, by the way, note how he used the caller's name. Very important in building rapport. And while we're looking at the little refinements in his speech, note he didn't say, "If you'd like to come in." He simply assumed the customer will come in. He assumed he's going to get the sale. And chances are, he will. Of course, this doesn't only work for tyres, it works for any business. Let's see how Mark might handle this in another scenario. Let's say, as a landscaper.
Well, based on what we've discussed so far, let me suggest that the next step is for us to get together to talk about your landscaping ideas. That way I can walk around your property with you and take in the lay of the land. I'll be able to sketch out some rough plans for you and talk to you about the plants that'll best set off your new home. Now, how does that sound? Great. Now, I'm free on Thursday after 4 p.m.
Again, totally professional and totally in control. Let's see what would happen if Mark were a professional practitioner.
From what you've told me so far, our services seem to match your needs perfectly. Specifically, you mentioned your business is on a growth path and that you have a challenge with setting long-term goals and managing cash flow. Well, when we get together, I'll explain our firm's small business program. Yeah, it's a program where we sit with you and map out your short-term and long-term goals and strategies, and to build a cash flow model. Now, this gives you certainty and predictability, and from what we discussed, this really is what you need right now. You'll be able to get back to focusing on building your business. Yeah. And I'd like my partner to sit in on this meeting as well. Let me just check when we could meet with you early next week.
You see, this process applies powerfully in every situation. People do want to be led. They want someone who projects trust and can relate to their needs. They'll want you to take control and lead them to the outcome. They want to feel your passion for what you stand for as well. But passion tempered with professionalism, which leads us to cover just one more element in your problem-solving armory. Reassure your prospect that the decision is theirs. When you make appointments, you may find in a disturbing number of cases the prospect calls up later to cancel, or they just don't turn up for the appointment. This doesn't mean the prospect was misleading you. It's more likely that they had second thoughts about being locked into a decision before they were ready. It's a common syndrome, especially if the salesperson has been a little bit overzealous. Address this fear head on and you'll regain many excellent sales you would have otherwise lost. The process is simple. Reassure the client that they have made the right decision and then confirm what the process is. In other words, what they can expect to happen next. Let's see how Mark, as our landscaper, handles that.
As I mentioned, I'm happy to come to your home to walk around with you. I suggest we meet while there's plenty of light. Around 4 p.m. is a good time. How does that sound to you? Great. I've got my diary now. That's 4 p.m. on Thursday. Now, in case anything comes up, I'll call and let you know. And likewise, please call me if you're held up in any way. Oh, and by the way, Julie, the purpose of our meeting on Thursday is purely for fact-finding and to give you ideas. I don't want you and Jeff to feel in any way obliged. It's just a chance to meet you both and share some ideas. Is that okay with you?
This is really the easy part of the transaction, but so few people actually do it effectively. And then they wonder why their hot prospect didn't show. In all cases where you're meeting with a client, it needs to be clear to them that they'll be under no pressure to buy, and you'll respect their decision if they choose to buy elsewhere. Well, we've actually covered a lot of ground in this brief time together. Can I suggest you view this video again? Because this approach to professionalism in selling is more effective in getting a positive outcome than you can possibly imagine. Ensure everyone applies these skills consistently and you'll be nothing short of legendary. You have my guarantee on that. I'm Chris Newton.